hello everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Lovely to see you. Good afternoon, evening or morning, Carolee, to you too. So hi everybody. Welcome to my channel. It's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk. And hello Joanna, Martina, Cherie. I'm basically saying hello to all the people in the live. If you're catching this on replay, thank you and hello to you too. Sorry you missed the live. Hi Heather, hi Sheila, hi Joanna, Martina, Sally Jo, Shaz, Elaine, Georgiana, Melissa, Margaret, Lisa, Annie, Darlene, Patricia, Cindy, Jackie, Claire, Teresa, Judy, and everyone else who knows me. Let's get into Oscar mode already. Oh my goodness. Yes, we really enjoyed the Oscars last night. It was, yeah, it was just good all round fun, I thought. We had a fun, fun time. I'm just reading Martina's message in the chat. That's so funny, Martina. Martina sent Shaz a card and it got returned because she mixed the addresses up. There we go. That's fine. Party was good. Yes. Lots of nibbles. Yeah, so I basically didn't eat tea, but had loads of, we had sort of like cheese, crackers, dips. I love that kind of food. I really do. Nuts. Few crisps. I just basically ate from about 7 o'clock till 10:30. Yeah, just nibbled. Nibble. It was brilliant. We will talk about some of the dresses later. Yeah. There was one dress that stood out for all the wrong reasons. I think there was a wardrobe malfunction. So if anyone saw the Oscars and noticed a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction, let me know in the chat. I'll give you a clue. That is my clue. Let's see if anyone picks up on it. Because I don't want to be rude, you know, don't want to be too personal, but it didn't look right. Something just didn't look right. Let's see if Janine picked up on it. Janine's quite astute when it comes to clothing and stuff like that. So there we go. Right, so this week is epically busy for me. I had a workshop today. I have a workshop on Saturday. And I also have a workshop tomorrow night. Okay, Janine. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll come back to it. So I've got workshop tomorrow night. Now the workshop tomorrow, for those of you who've watched my channel before, you'll know that about twice a year I do workshops for dear Liz, who sometimes watches. So hi Liz, if you're watching this on the replay. So she runs a cancer support group here in Welshpool, and they like to have guest speakers come and do activities. Yes, I know I've only got one hand warmer on. I couldn't find the other one. I don't know where it is. And oh, I found it. Bear with. I just spotted it. So that workshop, the aim of it is really to have a nice chilled out evening. It's not about going heavy on the techniques and learning something new and that's too complicated. Okay, people just want to come and just hang out and have some fun, not get too stressed about, you know, how to stick something or color it or whatever. So the designs that I like to do for that class, you know, are kind of fairly simple, very easy to put together, not too complicated. So I already discussed this with Liz. So Liz, if you're watching, this is going to be like deja vu. So we're thinking wreath styles. So I will be doing 2 projects. One project will be a card with the option to make it like an Easter card. So either with an Easter sentiment, or I was thinking I have got some retired of that wood It's that lovely paper that had like wood panels on it, and I thought, oh, I could cut those into strips, and then if people want to do a little cross, they could do that for Easter. So there we go. Cindy, I don't know how you didn't see that one. Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't it. Other people noticed it as well. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know the name of the lady. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to name and shame the poor woman. But basically, it looks like she'd dropped on one side. I'll tell you what she needed. She needed a bit of tear and tape. That's what she needed on one side. I was sat there going, do you think she realises? Do you think she was up there going, uh-oh. Cindy, you could. Anyway, I do feel for the poor lady. I do, but this is what happens when you wear dresses like that. You gotta make sure you're stuck in. Get in there, get stuck in. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. It's the chat. The chat is distracting me. I'm trying to talk about Easter cards here, guys. Easter cards. Come on, focus. Easter cards. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat anymore. I'm not looking at the chat. Right, so I'm going to design a card. So this is kind of like a twofold little broadcast. It's also to help those of you who are either thinking of running workshops, already run workshops, and to have a bit of an insight into how I plan them. And so for those of you who attend my workshops, you're going to get to see the insider kind of workings of my mind when I plan a workshop, because I at the moment, I'm currently, on average, I plan for 12 participants per class. So I'm having to do lots of chopping and cutting, stuff like that. So there we go. Right. Easter bunnies. Okay, a word on the Easter bunnies. Thank you, everybody, for all your suggestions from yesterday. I have stood here for about half an hour compiling all your suggestions. I'm gonna have to say there's a couple of suggestions that were made that I don't think I'm going to be able to do, so I'm going to say that off the bat now. I didn't plan on ordering the bunny punch and the bunny set. I've bought so much from this mini catalogue already, some stuff that you haven't even seen me use yet. All right, I know it's probably just about one stamp, and I think I've got other product coming, so I don't really want to I'm sorry, the chat is retracting me. I'm not looking. Focus, Ruth, focus. So I'm not going to be doing the bunnies. I'm sorry. You'll have to find somebody else to do that. Esther did a really great video on the bunnies, and I'm sure loads of other people have too. I mean, I've seen gorgeous stuff on Pinterest, Instagram, all the good social stuff. Also the citrus set. Sorry, Ivy, I wasn't planning on purchasing it. I was tempted for a moment, but I don't think that's... Did you hear that ping? That's Glenna on her way. I forgot to switch off the sound. So, sorry, again, the coconuts have been done with the citrus set. You just go Google it. It'll come up, because someone has done a fantastic job on doing it. So I'm not going to repeat it. Okay, I've done a few parties, but could use any help I can figuring out how to figure out what to do. Awesome. Your dad was so right, Elaine. So right. I'm not going to read out the chat. For those of you who are watching on replay, if you want to know what I'm so distracted about, you need to read the chat. All right. Oh my goodness, Martina, too much information. Inside of Ruth's mind could be a new Disney movie. It's like that, what's the one with the panda in? Red. Something red, that one. That's my brain. Hi, Stella. Oh, Darlene, that's the other one I'm going to have to say. I'm in two minds about getting the He Is Risen. And it might be that I'm not likely to get it. which is kind of a challenge for me to make Easter cards not using the Easter set that Stampin' Up have done. So I'm so sorry. And some of you have requested things like palm trees. I have to say, I don't know what it is about palm trees. They do nothing for me. The only exciting thing about a palm tree for me is either a coconut or a palm nut, is the nuts. I'm going to stop moving my hands. Oh my goodness. Okay, Ruth, get on with the show, for goodness sake. I feel like Jimmy Kimmel. Right, desk view, focus, focus. Stop waffling. So I just read these. Oh, there was a lot of thigh, wasn't there, at the Oscars? I mean, I thought it was fairly tastefully done, but you know, if you've got a good leg, why not? I'd rather see leg than the other thing. Right. Okay. So my plan is to use some of this lovely blue paper as a bit of a background. So, prepping for classes. If you're able to cut 2 sheets of paper in one go, I would do it. All right. So this is how I would prep about 12 cards in one go. All right. I'm just going to let you guys entertain me with the chat while I do this, because some of you might not some of you might not be interested in this video, but you are interested in the chat. Okay, so out of interest, how many of the Oscar films have people actually seen? Okay, so I did say that I had seen The Banshees of Inisherin, had seen that. I did watch the film, and I hadn't realised when I mentioned it the other day, Causeway, because was the best supporting actor? He was nominated, either supporting or leading. I can't remember what he was nominated for. He didn't win, unfortunately, but yeah. And then this afternoon, May was watching Elvis, and so I saw about half of that. Which, now normally I'm quite a big fan of Baz Luhrmann films. I have to say, I'd forgotten it was a Baz Luhrmann film until the credits. Anyway, sorry, let me just go over what I've cut this. So I've cut this at 10 centimetres. Now, you guys in the States, you tend to make cards that are 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So just cut this to 4 inches if you're using it, you know, your cardstock. Because our card is slightly different here in the UK, we tend to do it slightly differently. So I'm cutting that at 10 centimetres. Then I'm going to cut this at 14 point, I'll just say 14.4 just to make life a bit easier for me. There we go. And you know what? I might see if I can cut more than 2 sheets at one time, because again, it saves time. So I might see if I can get 1, 2. See if I can cut 4. Oh, Darlene didn't watch it. Oh dear, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's going to be spoilers about the Oscars tonight, because I did warn you yesterday. We would be talking about them tonight. The one that won a lot of awards is, I know, we are looking forward to watching that, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Can I just say, I don't think Michelle Yeoh will ever watch my channel, but can I say, big shout out to Michelle Yeoh. She was born in Ipoh, Malaysia. So Malaysia is where my mother comes from, and a lot of my family live in Ipoh. She's an Ipoh girl, and my mum messaged to say, I couldn't believe it, my mum messaged last night and said that, you know, about Michelle Yeoh, isn't it fantastic she won? And then I said, oh yeah, she's an Ipoh girl, and then she told me she went to the same school as one of my relatives. So there we go. You know, 2 degrees of separation. Me, my cousin, Michelle Yeoh. What can I say? You won't watch it. Okay. Well, just be entertained by us then, Sheila. The rest blew you away, but your family hated it. Ah, there we go. She did. I loved her dress. Yes, I loved her dress. Okay, so now I've prepped that. So that's 12 matting layers ready. Obviously, I've still got to cut the cardstock. But I'm thinking the design is going to be one of these stuck onto here. And then I'm going to punch out some flowers for them to stick on. Now, what I can't decide is whether I'm going to cut this out from nice pale green. And this might be the only thing I actually get them to do. Now, normally I don't get them to use the machine, but because there are so many that I'd have to sit here and cut this for a long time, I may get them to do that, which I don't think is too technically difficult. And it means that also they get used to using it. So I'm wondering about a nice bit of soft sea foam, because that's a nice kind of like pale, but nice sort of spring colour. So for a workshop, I would pre-cut all the cards ready. So I need 12 of those. So that's 4, 8, 12. And then what happens is I have envelopes. So all the pieces go into an envelope, so that when I run my class, all I have to do is hand each person an envelope and it will have everything in it that they need. Now, because this is, I'm just cutting this up for them to use, I'm not actually bothered that this doesn't cut all the way through. I'm actually just going to rip that, because it is not a matting layer, so it doesn't matter that it's a bit torn, because this is just so that I can put a piece in every single person's envelope. So this sort of cuts down on my prep time a little bit by not having to cut out every single piece. Obviously I will do to show you, I will do it to show you guys, but that's my little pile there. Right, so the other thing I was thinking of doing was cutting it out, and I may do this. I'll punch out a set of these to go in everybody's pack, or maybe a pack of maybe 2 sets. And I was planning to do this in maybe cutting out of basic white, but then give them the brushes so that they can colour in the flowers themselves. So that will save me having to worry about doing lots of different colours. So I'm not going to do that right now, because these are going to go everywhere, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I think what I will do though is cut this out and just design the one card in front of you, and then tomorrow afternoon I'll probably prep the rest of it all. Okay, so let's get the cut and emboss machine out. Oh, sorry, the paper is from, sorry, I saw you ask a question. This is the current big host pack in the mini catalogue. It's got loads of really sort of vibrant patterns, but also a few more muted ones. It's kind of quite floral heavy and leaf heavy, but you know, like Stampin' Up's usual kind of thing that they do. They've got the odd stripe and stuff in there, and neutral kind of design. So it's a great pack for us workshop leaders, because you get quite a bit of paper in the pack, and you get 4 sheets of every design. So when you're having to make, you know, a class kit of say 12, it means that you've got a lot there to play with. That's how you do workshops too. Oh, cool. Oh, there were some very moving speeches. Oh my goodness. Yes. What's the name of the Asian guy, the first guy who got the, sorry, one of the, you know, main category guys. And he said that he'd come on a boat and he said, oh, you know, keep following your dream. Oh my goodness, that was so moving. And Michelle Yeoh's speech I thought was really good. I like Jamie Lee Curtis, what she said. I thought that was very sweet of her as well. Although my friends were like, oh, she's such an actress. Like, they were kind of, I don't think they weren't sort of poo-pooing what she said, but it was like, it was clear that she's a performer when she gave her speech. which was just a comment on how she sort of delivered it, really. But oh, and then we kept shouting at the TV because you know, when like one person would speak, and then maybe there was the rest of the team were like lining up behind them to speak, and then the music would start and they'd have to go off. We were just like, you gotta get in there, you can't hang about. Quick, give your speech. Right, so now this is interesting. I've got a little piece left over. So what I probably will do is, at the sort of work area where I put my cut and emboss machine with the die, I will also say to folks, right, as soon as you cut that bit out, punch out some leaves from this portion here, because you can use that then on your little arrangement. So I will quickly, I'll sort of try and intervene and say, right, quick, punch that out, because you know, I'm not in, if you know, it's cut out, so you may as well just use it. So there we go, we get 1.5 of those, and that can be used to decorate your card a little bit more later. Right, so I mentioned about perhaps adding a cross. Now we could just do a happy Easter, and there is a really lovely Easter sentiment, isn't there, in, is it Celebrating You? Yeah, we've got that lovely Easter sentiment there. Now, if you had the bunny set, let's pretend for a minute that I had the bunny set. This would be perhaps a really nice design to, you know, stamp, colour in, cut out your bunny, and you could have your little bunny sticking out from behind the foliage. Okay, so I can see lots of really lovely applications for the bunny. I just don't have it, I'm afraid. So right, now the other tip I would give you, when you're designing a class like this, is have a basket that you then start putting all the tools that you use into. Now I do have a basket. I do have a basket. So let me just show you the other thing that I have. I have these plastic baskets that are super cheap to pick up, and they all kind of like stack inside each other. So when I don't do a class, these just all get stacked back up together. So I would just get one of these out, and for each card that I do, I then put in here all the items that I used. So actually it makes sense if I do this now. So that will go in there, the die will go in there, and then I'm just going to mount up this stamp. So just a quick tip for those of you who are mounting up stamps. Now there's the line there to peel that back. Don't do that. Take the whole lot off, pop it onto your card block, then take off that white section, and then line it up. There we go. That's on there. Now, really push it down. Then when you go to take that off for the first time, make sure you slip your nail underneath there. Do not try and pull away the red rubber, because it will rip. Right, and then I'm just going to, because I'm actually going to use this, I'm just going to remount it so it's straight on the block like so. All right, all my little cards and envelopes can go in there. So I'm wondering if I have a nice label punch that I could stamp that onto. Oh, there's that one there. So, did have a strip of white card. So sometimes I won't necessarily put all the small pieces that people need in the kit, because, for example, if someone needs to actually stamp then punch out a sentiment, it's obviously easier to hold a longer piece of cardstock. If I cut this into a small section and expected them to try and hold it and punch it out, that's going to cause issues. So what I would do is, this is a strip of, so I can get 3 of these out of a piece of A4 cardstock. So I just cut a, you know, your standard size into 3, and then I would have that in the basket ready for everyone to stamp out their sentiments or punch out their sentiments. So let's go for I might go for basic grey. I don't really want to go too harsh with a black. I just want to keep it kind of all nice and soft. So I'm going to stamp that there like that, and then line that up and punch out my Happy Easter like so. So again, ink pad. So I've used that ink pad. That's going to go in my basket. I'm just going to leave that to the side because I need to give that a clean in a second. And then I know I've got my Happy Easter there. Now, I did say that the other option I may go for is creating a little cross. So bear with. I'm just getting some paper. I'm just going to have a quick flick through some these retired papers that I've got, because I'm sure I've got one that's got some wood paneling on it. Ooh, or I've got corrugated card. Ooh, that's quite nice. Actually, I quite like that. I wasn't expecting to find that. I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking of something else. But now I've seen it, I actually quite like that. Right, let's go for that then. I saw a tip yesterday. If you put a tiny piece of washi tape on an edge, you don't tear the stamp. Oh, yes. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's a good way to get your finger underneath, isn't it? So let's have a look. What would be a good size? I think a centimetre will be fine. So that's about, oh, actually, no, half an inch. Let's go for half an inch. So it's just over 1 centimetre. Oh, wrong one. So I'm going to cut a few strips of these. Now, the other thing, depending how complicated you want to make the class, you could give everybody a nice piece of ribbon. That lovely natural ribbon maybe might go well with this. And you could drape ribbon as if it was like a robe over the cross. So I'll show you what that looks like. I don't know whether I will go for that, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so pop that in my basket. And then I need to decide on some measurements. So I think, so I tend to eyeball it and then decide, okay, that's what I need to cut. So, ooh, okay, so to make it easier for me, I'm going to call that 4 inches for the long piece. That makes it easy to cut up, doesn't it? So I know I can get 3 out of 1 strip, so that's that. And then let's have a look what that is there. We could go for 3, but it's sort of quite big. Sorry, I'm just gonna see what it looks like. Got to get the ratio kind of right. So it's kind of 2 3/4 inches. 3 was a bit too long, didn't look right. So 2 3/4, which is fine because I know that I'll definitely get 4 out of 1 strip. And these kind of things are the things that I would prep ahead of time, because it's just easier. Just easier for folks if you've already done it for them. Right, so of course they could choose just to have a little cross, or they could have the cross and the Happy Easter, like that. Or they could just stick that on the inside. You know, it's nice to give people options as to what they would like to do. I actually quite like seeing the grain there like that. I said, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Heidi. Hello. Good morning. And yeah, this is the ribbon that I was talking about. Oh, did you hear my back crack then? Whew, that feels better. Actually, this is a bit too thick, I think. Yeah, that's a bit too thick. Ooh. I don't think I have anything else that's the right sort of width. And that is white. I've got the seam binding ribbon, but no, I just think that's too thin. That's too thick and that's too thin. So no, that's going to go back on the shelf. Not going to do that. Right. So I anticipate I anticipate that folks are going to find it a bit tricky to use Tombow with this. So this is where I will be quite honest and go, I'm not going to give them Tombow. I'm actually going to use, there's a brand in the UK we use. I don't know if you guys get it overseas, but we get it in the UK. It's called Pritt Stick. And Pritt Stick is kind of, I think, one of the higher quality stick glues. So I'm going to see if I can reach it. So this is what I tend to use when doing workshops with folks who are not used to using Tombow, because I know it will stick, and it's easy to use. It never fails. My sister always calls at 6 p.m. here, and she knows this is my time with Ruth and all. Oh, fantastic. How about using the linen thread to lash the pieces of the cross together? Oh, that's a good idea. May just do that. Okay. So I'm still going to have to tell folks to be gentle with the Pritt Stick, because right, let's see if I've got some linen thread. I do believe I do. Somewhere. Have I got enough though? Ooh, I've got some there and there. Don't think that's going to be enough though. I thought I had more than this, but put a little bit of glue on there. Stick that together. You know what? I mean, it's easy for me to do, but this is perhaps going to be a bit too tricky. I mean, I like it. I'll give it to them as an option. Some folks might struggle with it, so I'll give it to them as an option. Oh, where have my scissors gone? Oh, I packed them for class. Oops. Right. All right, let's stick that there. Okay. Yep, go on. Right, I'm thinking dimensionals then to stick this all down with. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love that these fit just right on here. 4, 5. There we go. Now, I was just thinking if they didn't want to do a cross, I guess what they could do is just do some additional flowers, maybe. I'm trying to find a card base. Let's go with the yellow. Ew, ooh, that's a bit too bright. Oh, no. No, didn't like that. Too bright. I think I might have to go for So Saffron. That's better. Oh, didn't like the other one. It was Daffodil Delight and it was just like, woo, too in your face. Didn't like it. Hi, Carla. The twine looks great. Hi, Vicky. Good morning. Hi, Dorothy. Hey, Carla. Nice to see you. Oh, sorry. Just got to get my blade out of the way. I've put it around the other way. I usually have the blade at the top, and for some reason I've obviously put it around the other way. Okay, so there we go. This is why it's good to test out what colours you're going to use, because sometimes you might think, oh, that colour would be nice, and then, no. No, didn't look right. Got a bit of glue going on here. Ugh, right. Oh. Right, so I do have those spare leaves. Got these spare leaves here. So it might be quite nice to have those going up like that and like that. And let's get a little bit more green on here. So I'm thinking a bit of Periprosage just to darken that all up a bit. So that one that way. Go for a bit of a symmetrical look here. And then, so I said about maybe punching out the flowers in a white, but I'm wondering whether to actually punch them out with, I was going to say So Saffron, but I've got to make sure I've got enough So Saffron to make my card bases with. So this is where you have to kind of be careful, because when you choose a colour for a base, you need to think, okay, how many people have I got coming? How many sheets do I need for each person. So I can get 2 bases out of each sheet. So I've already got 3 here, and I need to get, so I'm making 12, so I've already done 4, so I need to do 8, so I need to make sure I've got, so 2, 4, 6, 8 card bases. Okay, so, oh, I've just got glue on that. Oops. You know what? I'll use that one for the flowers. Right, so I've got that to set aside, and I've got that left for punching out flowers. So if I give everybody a set like this, let's see what we can create with it. So again, you can have an idea, and then it's just try it out, see what it looks like, and then decide, okay, are we going for that? Are we not going for that? So there's that yellow flower. I think I probably could have 2, couldn't I? And then have that one inside there, and then could have this as a green one. So now I've got to think, right, I've got to make sure I've got a few blending brushes that they can use green with. So I've got, you know, enough to take with me so that people aren't waiting. And then I've actually got 2 Pear Pizzazz, so I might just take those 2 ink pads with me, just to make it so that people aren't having to sort of wait around too much for ink pads and so on. So that can go under there. So that's all going to get packed away. Then, do you think I should do some yellow as well? And maybe now I will get the Daffodil Delight out, because it's only going to be like a little hint of it. So we're just going a little bit of daffodil on each of the petals. I have some light brown sleeves that go around coffee cups. Oh, they might work. Yes. Yeah. Oh, what happened? What's going on about Martina? Oh, hi, Ivy. Oh, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, where I'm trying to read this message from Martina. What happened? They did not destroy anything, did not find my jewelry. They just took all the money, no cards, and my stash of cigarettes. Oh, what? Martina. I missed the first comment. Oh well. Those blasted cats did not bark. Not even scratch their eyes out. Okay, so I've got, because I want to make people's lives a bit easier, I think what I'm going to do is tell them to stick 3 dimensionals along the bottom like this. Take that off. Then pop your leaves on. Then I'll get another little one for... So what I tend to do is I just put dimensionals, sort of like I scatter them along the tables. We're doing something like this. And pop a dimensional under there. Okay. There we go. That's a really kind of classy card, in my opinion. And then the Happy Easter can go on the inside. I just don't feel that it's got enough space on there really. Where's my glue gone? Oh, I'll get another one out. Oh yeah, sorry, this is the Eden's Garden die. Yep. Right, there you go. So let me just show you very quickly then how I would pack up this class. So all these things that I've just used, that's all going to go in the basket. I can put these in here as well. So that'll go in there. Then I would, so I'm not going to do all of them now, but I'll just show you a few. I'd go, right, 1, 2, 3. There's the 3 bases. So I'd get an envelope, put the card base, put the layer, then the panel they're going to need for cutting out, and then the flowers, and then pop that all in an envelope like that, and then that is an envelope kit to go. So I'll just do a couple more of these because I've punched those out ready. So then when you're prepping them, you can just sort of do it, you know, what's the word, factory line style. Right, and then, oh, I've just forgotten how to do the crosses as well, haven't I? So one of those, and one of those. One of those, one of those. Then I've got to cut another one of those. Hi, Shaz. Oh, hope you're feeling a bit better today, or this afternoon, or this evening rather. Or hope you're feeling better than you did this afternoon. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, my brain sort of knew what I wanted to say, but didn't come out right. Right, so there we go. So 3 down, 8 more to go. But I've got all my bits all ready to go here. I've got everything in the basket. So I won't do any more of that now. But I'll carry on doing that tomorrow. So all my strips. Put the glue, even the glue dots and stuff need to go in there. All that glue. And then I'll clean that off. Stick that in the top. That's all the cardstock. So there we go. So that's my kind of like kit in a basket, nearly ready to go. Obviously there's still more bits and pieces. I've got to remember to take my machine to go with that. Stick that in there for now. Oh, need that one as well. Right, so while I'm here, I may just show, because most of you don't get to attend my in-person classes, I'll show you what I taught this afternoon. I'm trying to think of some of the designs I haven't done with you guys. Ah, right, okay, so here's an example of something. So this is what I did on a live, I think it was like a dash busting or, you know, scrap busting video that I did with you. So this was the original card, and then I took this to my class probably about a month ago, and this is what I sometimes do. I'll take cards that I've made during lives just to show my ladies and see what they think of them, and someone said, oh, I love that, can we do that one? So I'm going to show you the version or how I prepped then this kit. So I did say to her at the time, it's not going to be exactly the same because this was made up from scraps, but we'll kind of take elements of it and we'll work with it. So now I can't make it up in front of you because I've actually lent her the doggy punch, so I can't do that. But let me show you what I put inside the kit. So this is a Slimline card. So Stampin' Up! Don't do the envelopes for this, so you just have to buy them from somewhere else. So inside it was the card base. So this is 2/3 of an A4 sheet of cardstock. So it measures, this measures just under 10 centimeters. So it's kind of like 3.5, let me just check. Oh, 3 3/4. It's about 3 3/4 inches across. All right. And about 8 inches wide. So because I didn't have enough of this patterned paper. Now this is actually in the current annual catalogue, although because I didn't have enough of that, I had bought packs of that gorgeous vellum that's in the mini. So I cut that instead. So they all got 2 pieces like that to stick on, and then a piece of the vine one. And so what happens is I make the kits up, and then I will make up one of the cards, and as I make up the cards I take a photograph and use that to make a worksheet, which I will show you in a second. Oh sorry, no, that doesn't go on there. Sorry, it went on here. So what I would do is I would stick that, then photograph that. Then there are these elements here, and these are they're supposed to cut these down, and they can just arrange these however they like. Now I did notice I have a lady who's fairly new to my classes, and I think she thought she had to copy exactly how I did it, and it was really interesting because I was kind of trying to say to her, look, you don't have to do it exactly how I did it, you do it how you want to do it. And then I had said to some of the group, no, you just cut it, and you don't have to use it the length that I've given you need to cut it down. And so one person was getting really confused because she was going, oh, it's too long, and then she got reminded, no, it's okay, you can cut it down. So I do find the whole dynamic of running a class where people are kind of pretty much copying what you're doing, to almost, you have to remind them to give them permission to do their own thing. And you have to make it very clear that, you know what, you can do your own thing with this. So whereas some cards, you have to follow the instructions exactly, otherwise it's not going to work out. Right, so the next stage was to stick a layer of the dotty vellum. And then, so this is what I would then do in terms of what they have to do. They had to then cut out with the oval die. So I had the oval die by a machine and the punch next to it. And I said, look, you've got to cut that out first with the oval, and then you punch your dog out of the oval that's left. So then that's how they ended up with, they would have that to stick on there. They had a different coloured flower, and I did experiment with seeing if they could do that, but it wasn't going to dry in the time. This is using the metallic droppy stuff. So instead of doing that, I just gave them sequins, and they just decorated the inside of the flower with a sequin, rather than that technique, which is kind of like takes too long to dry. So when you're running a class, you have to think about, okay, do we have drying time? So there we go. So we didn't. So there we go. So that was one kit that was in the envelope. The other kit was a version of the card that I did a few weeks ago. It's this one that pops up like that. Now I did end up realizing I'd made a boo-boo with how I had done the scoring for their pieces, which was a little bit embarrassing, but we soldiered through. Right, so this one was very heavy on the prep, so I prepped quite a bit. I did a lot of cutting and chopping. So they had all these pieces. They had 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just raid another kit. I've obviously modelled some stuff up here. They had 4 panels of DSP. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're in my team, I have put the measurements of this in our team group to help you. Then there was 2 lots of these. So I'm just trying to crib it all together. These have all got muddled up. 2 lots of those. And then the mechanism. There we go. So that was all in there. Right, let me see if I can find the sheet. Oh, here we go. Here it is. So this is what ends up on the table with them. So with instructions, so it says stick DSP to card as shown. Then I show them where to put the glue, and I hope that, you know, from the score lines it's obvious where to stick your panels. And then put glue here, then fold base in, then put glue here and tuck underneath, and then add your own sentiment. So that basically that goes on the table with the example. So I make 3 cards in one session. Sorry, I design 3 cards in one session, and I have on average maybe 3 to 4 people, sometimes 2, making each card at a time, and then the baskets get shifted around. So everything has to be put back in the basket that they used and then moved over. So for this one, they also had circle punches, and they had stamps to choose from as well. All right, so that's that one. If you've got any questions, let me know. Yeah, the Scottish dog unfortunately has retired, but it was just someone just really liked it, so I decided I would use it. Okay, so this is the crib sheet for the for that one. So what happens is I take photographs and then I just arrange them in the grid on PicMonkey, and then just put the instructions. So for those of you who are visual learners, hopefully this will kind of like help you. Right, then there was this one. So this one I don't think I've made with you guys, so I'm going to see if I've got a whole one left, because some people made mistakes. So we were stealing pieces out of different actually, to be honest guys, I'm feeling a bit tired now. I'm not going to make this in front of you, but I'll show you what we did. Suddenly come over quite tired. Right, so this would be in the pack, that and that, and this is from that lovely paper that I was using the other day. Do you remember when I was stamping these the other day? It's the same pack of papers. It's like all lovely scenery, and because I'd got 3 packs from Celebration, I actually ended up using 2 packs to prep this kit, because we had a green option and then there was the purple option, which is like the other side of the piece of paper. So this is super simple to do. Now let me just see if I can give you the measurements of this. So 5, so score at 5, hold on, if I do it from here, 5, 7.5, 13.5, what's that, 16, and then cut at 21. So basically it's half a sheet of A4, and then that just kind of like folds into there like that. And I just like the idea of being able to show off this lovely paper. So that gets stuck there and there like so. Then this panel, they used the decal edged rectangle die to cut that out, and then they had to stamp in Pear Pizzazz that lovely mountain air tree stamp, and then stamp the sending birthday wishes in early espresso, and then it was matted and layered. So that went on there, then that on there, then this would have been cut a little bit smaller with the sending birthday wishes. Now the other thing that they had to do was stamp extra trees onto here, because I kind of thought that was a bit boring. So they used the trees from Mountain Air, and they stamped them on there. Now I'll tell you the other mistake that I made was I'd forgotten that some folks had purpley mountains and trees, and some folks had green. Now it was interesting when the packets got open, some people were like, oh, I don't like the purple, can I have the green one? So I was like rifling through to try and find someone the green one, and because I'd forgotten that, also I'd forgotten to take some kind of like purpley ink instead. So fortunately I had to take an early espresso to stamp the sentiments. So some folks just stamped early espresso trees instead, which was fine. It worked out, and it kind of went with the border anyway. So yeah, you can have these great ideas and think, oh, it's fine, we'll just have some people with green and some people with purple, but you've got to remember to then take the ink. Right, I'm done now. At least you can use all the instructions for next time. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, these are all saved, and I probably will, I'll keep this as a sample for the future, because I think this would be so easy just to repeat, but with, you know, different kind of patterned papers or your own Stamp One Sheet Wonder or whatever. And I like designs that you don't end up using too much more than what you would use for a card base. So basically half a sheet of cardstock, but then it just looks a bit more interesting than just a standard card. So and it does stand up, it stands up pretty well, you know, it doesn't buckle over. So yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, the other big one is a bit of a special. I mean, this takes quite a lot of, you know, prep and whatnot, but it was kind of worth it. I just think it's nice for the spectacle, really, that one. So there we go. Right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys, because I am all pooped out and I forgot to bring in a drink with me, so I'm feeling a bit parched as well. If you have any questions about what I've shown you tonight, then do contact me, ruthtrice@gmail.com. And anyone who came to the class, thank you for coming and putting up with my mistakes today. And yeah, hope to see you all again soon. And yeah, there we go. Let me know what you think of the Easter card that I've just prepped for a class. There we go. Yes, put them in a file folder. Yeah, I tend to keep a lot of those crib sheets, and yeah, I think I have got a folder for fancy folds and things like that. So there we go. What age group am I working with tomorrow? They are, oh gosh, I'm probably the youngest. There may be some people maybe my age, I don't know, so sort of 50 to upwards. So it's a group of people who have been affected by cancer, either themselves or family members. So yeah, sort of my age upwards, really, but not necessarily crafters. I think Liz is a crafter who, you know, she's the organizer. She's a beautiful card maker now. She's been doing Stampin' Up with me for a number of years, and her cards are just stunning. But not everybody is. I mean, they've done, she's done some of the classes with them, but they're not like avid crafters. So okay. Hi Kathy, nice to see you. All right, so yeah, I haven't ended up talking any more about the Oscars, but I'm sure we will do. I could do with going and doing a bit of a review of who won what again, and yeah, and maybe, yeah, I don't know, I could do with looking at all the dresses again that people wore as well. But we'll leave that for another night. Right, lots of love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's much appreciated. And I hope you've had some inspiration and will go and make your own as usual. All right. Lots of love to you all. Take care for now. Bye.